Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin exhibits a clear uptrend. The price has been consistently making higher highs and higher lows, supported by the Bollinger Bands which are widening, indicating increased volatility and a potential for further price appreciation. The RSI has been fluctuating but generally trending upwards, suggesting bullish momentum. Considering the support price of $85,200 and the forecast prices, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $95,000. The stop loss will be set at $93,600 to protect against a potential pullback. The initial target price will be $98,300, based on the forecast and the upper Bollinger Band. To further refine the strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI drops below 20, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider entering a long position. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80 or above, suggesting an overbought condition, we will consider taking profits or tightening our stop loss. Given the forecast of $99,300 on May 5, 2025, we will adjust the target price to $99,300. This combined strategy leverages both Bollinger Bands and RSI to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. This strategy will provide a high return with a reasonable risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum has shown a generally upward trend, breaking through the resistance level of $1,790 and reaching $1,820. The RSI indicator fluctuates between 39.7 and 57.0, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have widened recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price swings. Considering these factors, I propose a long position strategy with a focus on capitalizing on the upward momentum while managing risk. Specifically, I recommend entering a long position at $1,790. The stop loss should be placed at $1,760, just below the support level, to limit potential losses. The initial target price is $1,840, aligning with the forecast price and representing a reasonable profit target. However, if the price breaks through $1,840, we should adjust the target price to $1,860. This strategy combines technical indicators and forecast data to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP exhibits a generally upward trend, supported by consistent price increases and a recent break above the $2.2 mark. The RSI values have been fluctuating, but recently trending upwards, suggesting increasing momentum. The Bollinger Bands have also widened, indicating increased volatility and potential for further price movement. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy focused on capitalizing on the upward trend. Here's a three-pronged portfolio strategy combining RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. First, a long position at $2.23, utilizing the initial forecast price and recent upward momentum. Set a stop loss at $2.19, just below the established support level, to mitigate potential losses. Target a price of $2.33, aligning with the forecast peak and a reasonable profit margin. Second, consider entering at $2.26 if the price breaks above the $2.23 level, with a stop loss at $2.2 and a target at $2.35. Finally, if the price retraces to the $2.2 level, enter a long position with a stop loss at $2.17 and a target of $2.3. This diversified approach balances risk and reward, maximizing potential returns while protecting against adverse movements. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates between 45 and 60, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a period of low volatility, which could precede a breakout. Considering these factors, a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands is recommended. We will initiate a long position when the price touches the lower Bollinger Band and the RSI is below 50. Specifically, we will enter a long position at $606. The stop loss will be set just below the lower Bollinger Band at $598 to protect against a potential downturn. The initial target price will be the upper Bollinger Band at $616, aiming to capture a moderate profit. If the price reaches $616, we will adjust the stop loss to the entry price of $606 to secure profits and manage risk. If the price continues to rise, we will set a second target price at $618. This combined strategy aims to capitalize on the potential breakout while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana exhibits an overall upward trend. The price has consistently tested and bounced off the support level of $143, while the resistance level of $152 has been challenged multiple times. The RSI values have generally been above 50, indicating bullish momentum, though recently fluctuating around 60. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, suggesting increasing volatility and potential for price movement. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We will use the RSI strategy as the primary strategy. When the RSI falls below 20, enter a long position at $147. Set a stop loss at $143, just below the support level. The initial target price is $152, the resistance level. If the price reaches this target, consider moving the stop loss to break even to protect profits. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. When the price touches the lower band, it signals a potential buying opportunity. Considering the forecast data, the price is expected to be around $149 on April 29, 2025. If the price falls to the lower Bollinger Band around $113, enter a long position at $147. The stop loss remains at $143. The first target is $152, the resistance level. If the price breaks through the resistance, the second target is $154 based on the forecast. This combined RSI and Bollinger Band strategy offers a balanced approach, capitalizing on both momentum and volatility, with clear entry, stop loss, and target levels for optimal risk management. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI fluctuating between 42 and 60 suggests that the asset is neither strongly oversold nor overbought, indicating a balanced market. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, which could signal increased volatility and potential price movement. Considering the support price of 0.174 and a resistance of 0.183, and the forecast price hovering around 0.178 to 0.181, I recommend a moderate long position. My strategy is to enter a long position at $0.179, placing a stop loss order at $0.174 to protect against potential downside risks. The initial target price will be $0.183, aligning with the resistance level. If the price reaches the target, we will reevaluate the situation. Given the forecast data and the upward trend, I anticipate a continued rise. If the price shows signs of further upward momentum, we can consider raising the target price to $0.186. This strategy combines technical indicators with support and resistance levels to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano shows a slight upward trend. The RSI consistently stays above 43, indicating a neutral to slightly bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a period of consolidation before a potential breakout. Given the forecast prices, which are generally above the recent close, I recommend a long position. Entry price will be $0.696. A stop loss should be placed just below the support level at $0.684 to protect against a potential downside reversal. The initial target price will be $0.718, aligning with the forecast high and the upper Bollinger Band. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we'll consider adding to our position at $0.708. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 70 or above, suggesting an overbought condition, we'll take partial profits at $0.708. We'll adjust the stop loss upwards as the price moves higher, aiming to lock in profits and further reduce risk. The final target price will be $0.718, maximizing potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating within a range between $0.242 and $0.252. The RSI indicates that the asset is generally within a neutral range, occasionally dipping towards oversold conditions but not consistently. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been oscillating around the middle band, with occasional touches of the upper and lower bands. Considering the forecast for the next week, which predicts prices around $0.25, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.249, placing a stop-loss order at $0.246 to mitigate potential losses. The target price will be set at $0.253, aiming to capitalize on the predicted upward movement. To refine the strategy, we can incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we can consider entering a long position. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 70, signaling an overbought condition, we should consider exiting the position or shorting. Furthermore, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it suggests a potential buying opportunity, while touching the upper band may indicate a selling opportunity. Combining these signals, our refined strategy is to enter a long position at $0.249, with a stop-loss at $0.246 and a target price of $0.253. This approach balances the predicted upward trend with technical indicators to enhance risk management and maximize potential returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, SUI shows a clear uptrend, supported by consistently breaking through resistance levels and the recent forecast prices indicating continued growth. The RSI values have generally been trending upwards, with a significant spike above 70, suggesting strong momentum. The Bollinger Bands also confirm this trend, with prices consistently trading above the middle band and nearing the upper band. Considering this, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $3.45, placing a stop-loss order at $3.16, just below the support level to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $3.74, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band. To enhance returns and manage risk, we'll implement a dynamic target strategy. Once the price reaches $3.74, we'll move the stop-loss to break even at $3.45. If the price continues to rise, we'll set a second target price at $3.8. This strategy combines the momentum indicated by the RSI and Bollinger Bands with the support and resistance levels, creating a high-probability, high-reward investment opportunity. This portfolio is the most efficient of the three strategies, combining the strengths of each to maximize potential gains while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink shows a generally upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates, but generally remains above 50, indicating bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands have widened recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price movement. Considering the support price of $14.1 and resistance price of $15.1, and the forecast price reaching $15.5, a bullish strategy is warranted. I recommend a strategy that leverages the anticipated upward movement. I suggest a long position entry at $14.6. The stop-loss should be set slightly below the support level at $13.8 to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price is $15.1, aligning with the recent resistance level. If the price breaks through $15.1, the target price should be adjusted to $15.5, based on the forecast. The RSI indicates a potential for a pullback before further gains, so a trailing stop-loss can be implemented once the price reaches $15.1, adjusting it to $14.8 to secure profits while allowing for continued upside potential. This strategy combines the support and resistance levels with the forecast data and RSI signals for an optimized risk-reward ratio. Based on the historical data and forecast, Theta network shows a slight upward trend, bouncing between the support of $0.69 and the resistance of $0.772. The RSI consistently fluctuates, dipping below the oversold level of 20 only briefly, indicating limited strong selling pressure. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the lower band, suggesting a potential for a bounce. Therefore, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy focusing on short-term gains. My recommended strategy is to enter a long position at $0.698. The stop loss should be set at $0.67 to protect against a potential breakdown below the support level. The initial target price is $0.714, coinciding with the forecast price for May 1, 2025. If the price reaches $0.714, consider moving the stop loss to break even to secure profits and potentially ride further upward momentum. A secondary target price is $0.727, based on the forecast for May 3, 2025. This strategy combines technical indicators and forecast data to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Conflux shows a generally upward trend with some volatility. The RSI consistently remains below the 80 overbought level, indicating that the asset isn't currently overvalued. However, it frequently dips below the 30 oversold level, suggesting potential buying opportunities. The Bollinger Bands indicate periods of contraction and expansion, reflecting fluctuations in volatility. The forecast prices for the next week are slightly increasing, further supporting a bullish outlook. Given these observations, I recommend a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands to capitalize on this trend. The strategy involves a long position when the RSI falls below 30 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. Entry price should be $0.0605, with a stop loss set just below the lower Bollinger Band at $0.0595 to mitigate risk. The target price should be set near the upper Bollinger Band, around $0.0843. If the RSI rises above 80 and the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, the position should be closed. For example, if the RSI is 57.1 and the price is $0.0766 and the forecast price is $0.0771, we can enter a long position with an entry price of $0.0605, a stop loss of $0.0595, and a target price of $0.0843. This strategy aims to capture gains during upward movements while limiting potential losses through strategic stop loss placement. Based on the historical data and forecast, reserve rights demonstrates a clear uptrend. The price has consistently moved above the Bollinger Band center, indicating bullish momentum. The RSI consistently hovers above 50, further supporting the uptrend. The forecast data suggests a continuation of this trend, with prices expected to reach $0.0098. Considering the current price of $0.0093, I recommend a long position. The entry price should be $0.0093. To manage risk, set a stop loss at $0.0087, just below the recent support level. For the target price, aiming for $0.0098, aligning with the forecast, provides a reasonable profit margin. To enhance the strategy, I'll incorporate the RSI indicator. If the RSI drops below 30, indicating an oversold condition, it signals a potential buying opportunity. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 70, suggesting an overbought condition, consider taking profits or tightening stop-loss orders. The portfolio will prioritize the long position with a target of $0.0098 and a stop-loss of $0.0087. This strategy combines trend analysis, forecast data, and RSI signals to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Arweave exhibits a clear uptrend, consistently breaking through resistance levels. The RSI readings have generally been trending upward, indicating increasing momentum, although they've occasionally approached overbought territory. The Bollinger Bands have widened, suggesting increased volatility and potential price swings. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $6.58, coinciding with the first day of the forecast period. A stop loss should be placed at $6.44, just below the established support level, to protect against potential downside risk. The initial target price should be $7.01, reflecting the forecast high within the first week. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI falls below 35, indicating an oversold condition, we'll consider adding to our position at the prevailing price, with a revised stop loss slightly below the lower Bollinger Band. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 80, suggesting an overbought scenario, we'll consider taking partial profits and tightening our stop loss to the upper Bollinger Band. This dynamic approach, combined with the initial entry and target, aims to maximize returns while mitigating risk in this upward trending market. Based on the historical data and forecast, SE exhibits an overall upward trend, with recent price action testing the support level of $0.203. The RSI fluctuates between 46.7 and 66.7, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been moving towards the upper band recently, suggesting bullish momentum. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy focusing on capitalizing on potential upward movements while mitigating risk. We should initiate a long position at $0.202, placing a stop-loss order at $0.198 to protect against a potential downside reversal. The initial target price should be set at $0.215, aligning with the forecast price and the upper Bollinger Band. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI drops below 20, indicating an oversold condition, we will enter a long position at the prevailing price with a stop loss at the lower Bollinger Band and a target price at the upper Bollinger Band. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 80, suggesting an overbought condition, we will consider shorting the asset at the current price, setting a stop loss above the upper Bollinger Band and a target price near the center of the Bollinger Bands. Combining these approaches, we can create a dynamic portfolio that adapts to changing market conditions, aiming for high returns while managing risk effectively. The final portfolio will be 60% long and 40% short. Based on the historical data and forecast, NEXO exhibits an upward trend, supported by consistent price increases and a break above the resistance level of $1.09. The RSI consistently moves above 40, indicating positive momentum. The forecast predicts further price increases, reaching $1.23. We will implement a combined strategy leveraging RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. Firstly, we will enter a long position when the RSI dips below 40, aiming to capitalize on potential price rebounds. The entry price will be $1.15. To manage risk, we will set a stop loss at $1.09, just below the support level. Our initial target price will be $1.2, aligning with the forecast and the upper Bollinger Band. Secondly, we will adjust our strategy based on the Bollinger Bands. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, we will raise our target price to $1.23, capitalizing on the extended upward momentum. Conversely, if the price approaches the lower Bollinger Band, we will consider tightening our stop loss to $1.18 to protect profits. This dynamic approach, combined with the RSI-driven entry and support/resistance considerations, aims to maximize returns while effectively managing risk. The final portfolio will be a long position with an entry price of $1.15, a stop loss of $1.09, and a target price of $1.2, with potential adjustments based on Bollinger Band movements. Based on the historical data and forecast, Zcash demonstrates a clear upward trend with recent volatility. The price has consistently tested the support level of $33.8 and approached the resistance level of $37.5. The RSI fluctuates between 37.0 and 57.3, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. Considering the forecast prices, which remain consistently above $33.8, and the Bollinger Band showing a narrowing trend, I recommend a long position strategy. We will use a combination of RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns. My recommended strategy is to enter a long position at $34.1. The stop loss should be set at $33.8, just below the support level, to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price is $37.5, the resistance level. If the price breaks through the resistance, we will move the stop loss to $35.7 and adjust the target price to $41.8, the upper Bollinger Band. This strategy leverages the upward trend, utilizes technical indicators for precise entry and exit points, and incorporates dynamic adjustments to maximize profits while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bonk exhibits a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently increasing from April 15, 2025, to April 28, 2025, and the forecast for the next week also indicates continued growth. The RSI consistently moved above 50, reaching 76.8 on April 28, 2025, suggesting strong bullish momentum. Considering the support price of $0.0000152 and the recent upward movement, I recommend a long position. We will enter a long position at $0.0000183 on April 29, 2025. The stop loss will be set at $0.0000152, just below the established support level, to limit potential losses. The target price will be $0.0000217, based on the forecast price on May 5, 2025, and the recent upward trend. To further refine the strategy, we will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price has been consistently trading above the upper Bollinger Band for the past few days, indicating a strong bullish trend. This reinforces the long position strategy. The RSI is currently in the overbought territory, above 70, but the forecast suggests continued upward movement. Therefore, we will maintain the long position with the entry price of $0.0000183, a stop loss of $0.0000152, and a target price of $0.0000217. This portfolio combines the momentum from the RSI, the support and resistance levels, and the Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solayer exhibits a strong upward trend. The price has consistently increased over the past 2 weeks, and the forecast for the next week projects continued growth. The RSI consistently remained above 60, indicating a bullish momentum, and reached over 80 on April 28, 2025, suggesting a potential pullback. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price has been fluctuating within the bands, with the recent upward movement pushing it towards the upper band. Therefore, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $2.69. To manage risk, set a stop loss at $2.48, just below the lower Bollinger Band from April 28, 2025. The initial target price should be $3.36, aligning with the forecast price for May 5, 2025. To refine this strategy, I'll incorporate an RSI-based adjustment. If the RSI falls below 30 during the forecast period, indicating an oversold condition, consider tightening the stop loss to $2.6 and reducing the position size by 50%. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80 or higher, consider taking partial profits at $3.16 and moving the stop loss to break even. This dynamic adjustment will allow us to capitalize on the upward trend while mitigating potential losses. The final target price remains $3.36, but the strategy will adapt to market conditions, ensuring optimal risk-reward ratio. Based on the historical data and forecast, FLOKI shows a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently rising from $0.0000535 to a forecast of $0.0000927. The RSI indicates that the asset has moved out of the oversold territory and is approaching the overbought zone, suggesting continued bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands are widening, indicating increasing volatility and potential for further price movement. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price should be $0.0000795. The stop loss should be set at $0.0000770 to protect against potential pullbacks. The initial target price should be $0.0000842, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and a reasonable profit margin. To refine the strategy, I will incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, consider adding to the position. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it could be another entry point. If the price reaches $0.0000842, move the stop loss to the entry price of $0.0000795 to secure profits. If the price continues to rise, set a second target price at $0.0000927 based on the forecast. This combined strategy leverages both technical indicators and trend analysis to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively.